Okie dokie. Artichoke. All right. Ooh, all right. Okay, that's impressive. I do appreciate that there is a printed user manual in here. There's an X9. No, there wasn't. What? So why did I buy this thing? What the hell, man? Wait. I know these pictures. Yup, I know those. This is a Onewheel Plus and XR manual. And yep, okay. There we go. That bodes well for originality. Okay, charger. Let's take a look at that. Fanless charger. Okay, it's a 3-pin GX16. Overmolded though, so that's nice. There she is. Fender. Cool. That's fine. There it is. Oh, that is a lot of space over there. This, oh my God, that has to be a direct clone of a Onewheel mag handle. That's the GX16 port. That cover doesn't actually seem to fit on it. This motor, that looks exactly like a Superflux. That is not identical, but really close. Yep. This is the cable side for the motor. That looks the same. The width looks like it's the same. The Thunder tire feels softer. All right. That's well applied, and by that I mean it is not, but okay. Turn this sucker on. All right, that is a latching switch. Oh no. And the latching switch goes in to turn it on and pops out to turn it off. That's not good. Got him. The latching switch thing is a concern, especially because this is a shipping in 2026 type of board, and there is a reason that most of the VESC Onewheel world went to momentary switches, and especially a latching switch that's not wired in reverse. It really doesn't take very much to pop this out. There's not even a distinct click. So that is an actual concern. It really doesn't take much to pop that thing out. And has that become an issue that has happened in use? Yes. Over the last few years, there are reports, I've seen them, of latching switches becoming an issue. Not so much with a momentary switch that doesn't do anything. And the board still works as normal because there is switch logic on it specifically meant to prevent accidental dropping of the rider. So this not having that in big 2026 is concerning, and it really feels like a very lazy oversight. Looks like you can mount the mag handle on either side. Turn it back on. Does it balance? Okay, wait, it does. No. Wait, hold on. The lights are glitching in the front. That's so weird. They usually glitch in the back. In the back, they're fine. In the front, though, you can see the reflection. Oh, they're not doing so well. So these bumpers look very Floatwheel ADV-ish, especially where these handles are. So these look identical, same front and back, which I think is what the Floatwheel ADV did. So if you want to pick it up, you don't get that traditional maul grab that you do on the XR. You gotta like claw grab it. Oh, I don't love that either. Oh, that's rough. This charge port cover is, at least at first go, useless. So you can see there that, now these kinds of ports, if you're a DIY person and you're familiar, they're designed to be panel mounted. So the connector itself would go on a flat surface, and then you would have this sort of cover here to go over the main body of it. But since this is so recessed in a rail, this little tab where it's connected gets squished this way, and it doesn't sit over the actual body of the connector. And so even if you seat it in and you push it in, it just pops itself back out, like it's already moving. And so this is pointless. This is completely and utterly pointless. So this is a presumable facsimile of the drop top fender. Okay, doesn't seem to rub. That doesn't seem to hold, so far that's not doing much. Oops, should you roll the board? All right, that seems way more fiddly than I would like it to be. I mean, this thing's all warped, and so and it's flimsy. I don't know what I expected, but okay. I'm gonna connect to the app, I'm gonna poke around, and then I'm going to give it a bit of a test ride, because what else am I gonna do? All right, let's connect to VESC tool and see what we have going on here. Let's zoom in just a hair. All right, and oh, this has, okay, so this is Float package, which is the no longer used version of the balance board package. So the development of Float package was essentially abandoned for the sake of refloat, which is where all the actual current development happens. So this package is outdated and not used. So that's fine. And by fine, I mean also concerning. I'm gonna take a quick look at, all right, the motor current's pretty low, especially for what I'm assuming is functionally a super flux. Let me take a look at those. Voltage cutoffs are a bit high for my tastes, but as far as I can tell, this thing has a discharge BMS, and so you could set these as low as you want. If the BMS cuts off the power due to voltage, then that's gonna happen regardless. So in this case, I don't even think that matters. All right, temperature, acceleration, decrease, BMS. That's pointless because there's no VESC BMS in here. Okay, fine. I won't scrub through that. Let's look. Okay, the LEDs, tuning. This all looks like it's just stock. There's nothing changed here. Let's check the specs for pushback and stuff. High voltage okay, so the high voltage threshold is just wrong. It should not be 75.6. It should be above that. All right, the rest of the acceleration current limit. Okay, this mostly just looks like they left it alone. All right, let's check out LEDs. Okay, so this is by default set to the felony preset. That's the, okay. So is this not actually, could you activate please? Okay, hold on. Right, so maybe the lights aren't glitchy and it was just the preset. No, they're still, okay. Headlight's still glitchy. Let's check the taillight. And the taillight is just red. Is this not RGB? It's not RGB, they're just red. Okay, so that's why the taillight doesn't glitch. I think it's just red. There's no color data. And so this is fine. That's pointless. Okay, whatever. Okay, here we go. That button, man. All right. All right, functions. So that's good. Oh, what is that? Whoa, why is the nose down so much? Oh. Okay, well, all right. It does ride. It does stop, but that feels so wrong. That's pretty off-putting, honestly. The nose feels so low, but if I stop, it's flat. And I looked through the float config. Whoa, the nose just felt like it dropped quite a bit. I looked through the float config and there was no constant tilt back that would have it be nose down. So I don't know what that is. Now, compared to the X5, which I've ridden, I don't currently have it in my garage. I gave it to a friend, but I asked for it back for the sake of doing a comparison between the X5 and this X7. So I'll get that. But compared to that X5, this thing is obviously better. But that's a pretty rough comparison. The X5, the bar for the X5 coming from an old Trotter, the bar was below the ground. Now I don't like this. This feels wrong. This thing that nose dip feels so weird. I'm guessing it's an IMU issue. I'm guessing that because this feels like it was not. No, that feels weird. This feels like it was misconfigured. This feels wrong. So I'm not gonna push it right now. I've gotta go back. I've gotta fix that. This thing feels too weird. It feels like I'm just gonna nosedive. I don't like that. It is obviously working. Whoa, okay. And I probably should have checked the tire pressure. This thing feels very high. Okay, so I'm gonna go back. I'm going to comb through the values. I'm guessing that the IMU is poorly configured, and I'm either just gonna try to adjust it or just reconfigure it. All right, so I just got back from the ride and it feels off. I'm going to have to either mess around with the IMU values or just reconfigure it from scratch. Don't know if you heard that. This thing beeps when you leave it on, which is a decent thing considering it has no auto off. The power switch is latching. It appears like what the button is actually connected to is the BMS, and so it switches power on and off from the BMS. The on and off function is not on the controller, it's on the BMS. And so I'm assuming that there is just a timer on the VESC that beeps if you leave it on, which is better than nothing. Either way, I will save the reconfiguring for a different time and trying out refloat, because the float package on here is a bit outdated and I'd rather have the current updated tuning settings available rather than just what's in the old float package. So that's that. I'm done for now. All right, see you in the next video.